Well, so in today's lesson, we are going to study something really, really important in English, especially for intermediate and advanced students, because when you are intermediate or advanced, you will notice many structures that are really used all the time in English. And when you are a basic student, you don't even notice that they say that way, okay? This structure involves that vocabulary that we have been studying. And it is considered an advanced structure in English, okay? And we don't have this structure in Portuguese. This is the reason why many students get confused, or many students don't understand it, or many students don't know how to use it, okay? But hopefully you are all good students. I can see, because I have noticed that some of you have like really good English. I think you already know it, okay? And I have already talked about this like very, very, very briefly in our other two classes. But today we are gonna study it in details, okay? We're gonna go deeper and deeper in this topic. Well, the topic I am talking about so enthusiastically is this. I'm gonna write here because this is gonna be the title for our class today, okay? So I'm gonna give you two names, okay? The first one is have something done. And well, this is the structure, okay, we are gonna study. And this structure has another name too, okay? We can also call it like this: causative use of have. Causative use of have. Samuel, what is causative? Do we have this word in Portuguese? No, we don't have this structure in Portuguese. We don't even have this word in Portuguese, okay? So what is causative? Causative is causativo, okay? But we don't say like that. We don't translate like uso causativo do verbo have, okay? As you can see, this is a structure involving the use of the verb have, okay? But we don't translate the verb have in these kinds of contexts I'm going to show you today, okay? So just remember, this structure has two names. The first one is have something done. So I am telling you this because if you want to go to like YouTube, you can type there have something done, and lots of videos about this structure will show up in your screen, okay, on your screen. And you can also type causative have, and many things about it will just appear there on your screen, okay? So let me give you a very, very basic example, and then we go to other more advanced examples, okay? So I'm gonna use one example that I have already used before, and has everything to do with the topic we've been studying, okay? So the example is, I'm gonna write in Portuguese because I'm gonna teach you how to translate, okay? So this is the reason why I'm gonna write in Portuguese, and then I'm gonna teach you how to translate it into English, okay? So it is, eu cortei meu cabelo. Imagine this is a boy speaking, okay? Let me change the size of the letter here, just a moment. So, eu cortei meu cabelo na barbearia do Jack. Okay, so eu cortei meu cabelo na barbearia do Jack sábado passado. Jack. And then I tell you the moment in time when I did the action, or the person did the action. I say sábado passado, okay? So just a moment, let me organize things here and correct things. So this is the example. I'm gonna leave it here on the left.
Professor, boa noite. Desculpa atrapalhar aí. Tem gente pedindo para o senhor aceitar a participação na aula aí, na
Tá
turma.
bom, just a moment. É o Igor, né? Good evening, Igor. Well, guys, just a moment. Pronto, aceitei, tá? Então, eu cortei meu cabelo na barbearia do Jack sábado passado. Well, pay attention. In Portuguese, we say like, eu cortei, okay? But when this person here says, eu cortei, as you all know, if the person went to a barber shop to have this service done, that means that it wasn't this person who is speaking who did the action, okay? The action was done by the barber at the barber shop, ok? Então, quando a pessoa diz eu cortei, na verdade não foi ela própria que cortou, ok? She is talking, in this case, it's a boy, so he is saying that he went to the barber shop and a barber did the action for him, okay? In English, as I told you in a previous class, we say something like eu tive meu cabelo cortado. So in English, this part here, eu cortei meu cabelo, is translated in this way here. You have to say eu tive meu cabelo cortado. This is the way in which you have to think, okay? You have to think in English. So, Samuel, how do they say that? They say like this, guys. I had my hair cut, okay? I had my hair cut. And then I say where. In this case here, it's at Jack's barber shop, okay? Barber shop. And just a moment. And then I say when. In this case, it was last Saturday. But I just want you to pay attention to the beginning of this sentence, because this is the structure I'm going to explain today. And pay attention. This is a very basic example, okay? Então não se espantem, okay? Because in today's lesson, we are gonna see some very complicated examples, things that usually students don't know how to translate, envolvendo procedimentos de cirurgia plástica, serviços de marcenaria, de bombeiro hidráulico, and many other kinds of services, especially aesthetical procedures, procedimentos estéticos como cirurgia de abdominoplastia, implante de silicone, and many other things, okay? Well, as you can see, this is the structure, okay? This structure here using the verb have is called have something done, porque você tem, ó, have, aí você diz alguma coisa, o que foi cortado, que é o something da fórmula, and then you have a verb, okay? So let me tell you about the use of this structure. So when do we use it, okay? So I'm gonna write here something just to organize my board, okay? So Samuel, when do we use this structure? So we use it, I am talking about the structure, okay? So we use it to refer to actions, or better saying, to services that we pay people to do for us. We can pay people, or we can just ask people to do for us, okay? So we can pay people to do these services for us, or we can just ask them a favor and then they will do the service for us, okay? So as you can see here, I am talking about services, ó, serviços de cirurgia plástica, serviços de marcenaria, or serviços envolvendo aqui, for example, haircuts, or other procedures done there at a hair salon, like fazer as unhas, and many other things, okay? So what's the structure, Samuel? So this is the use, okay? So we use it for these types of situations, but I also need to talk to you about the structure. So what's the structure? The structure is kind of simple too, okay? Let me just organize it here better. Well, so the structure is this. We have to use the verb have, okay? And then we use what we call object affected by the action. Object affected by the action. And then, just a moment. So object affected by the action. And then I have here a verb, okay? But this verb has to be in the past participle form, okay? So this is the formula that you have to use, okay? É uma sequência. This is the sequence in which you have to position the words, okay? So you have to organize the sentence using this structure here. Let me just write something here. So it's like this, guys. This is step number 1. This is step number 2. And then this is step number 3. As I told you, this is the sequence in which you have to organize the words in the sentence, okay? So as you can see here, you have the verb have in the past, and then you have step number 2, the object. The object is that something that was affected by the action. So the action is the verb. A ação é o verbo. A ação de o verbo cortar, expressa pelo verbo cortar in this case here. What was cut? O que foi cortado? É o objeto. No caso, o que foi cortado é o cabelo. So can you see? You have here the exact sequence I am talking about. You have 1, and then you have 2, and then you have 3. This is the structure called have something done, okay? So you have to use the verb have, followed by the object, and then followed by the verb, but the verb has to be in the past participle, okay? Just to remember, what is the past participle? Well, the past participle can be in different ways. You have 2 possible situations for this case. So if we are talking about a regular verb, the past participle of a regular verb, as I think you all know, is very simple. You just take the verb and then you add the ending ed to the verb, okay? But if the verb is irregular, okay, if we are talking about an irregular verb, you have to remember that irregular verbs have different forms, and you have to memorize them, right? They have, all of them have different forms. And for example, in the case of the verb cut, okay, so in the case of the verb cut, you have the same form, like it's cut, cut, cut. But for some verbs, it's different. So you have to pay special attention to that, because sometimes students don't understand why the sentence will be like having a verb with the ed, and why the sentences will be like in a different way, well, guys, you know, so with using a verb. Sorry, just a moment. Descobri alguma coisa errada aqui. Just a moment. Well, so as I was telling you, if the verb is irregular, you have to pay attention to the third column of the list, okay? Because there, in this column, in the third column, you will find the form that you need. So for example, if we take the verb take as an example, you have take, took, and then taken, right? Oh, primeira coluna, segunda coluna, and then third column. The third column is the past participle, so this is the one you need. As I was telling you, existing verbs that are verbs that are the same. For example, cut, fica cut, 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 right? So if you take a look at this sentence I have here, you will see no difference, because as you can see, ó, o cut, ele veio daqui, ó, da terceira coluna. But they are all the same, so it's like, se você errar de coluna, não vai dar problema. But in some cases, it's, important that you pay attention to that. For example, imagine that I say something like this. Olha, eu tirei o aparelho dentário, tirei o aparelho dentário semana passada. Now I have a better smile. My smile is different, okay? My smile is not metal anymore, okay? Because I had my braces taken off. So, vamos lá. Eu tirei o aparelho dentário. I'm gonna give you vocabulary, okay? So, how do I say aparelho, Samuel? I say braces. How do I say tirar o aparelho? In English, they say take off, okay? Take off. Tirar o aparelho, or remove, get off. You can also say get off, but I'm gonna use take off, okay? Well, so as you can see here, when the person says, eu tirei, obviously, it was not the person who did the action herself or himself, né? Não foi a pessoa que foi lá, arrancou o aparelho da própria boca. So, this person here who is saying, eu tirei o aparelho, went back to the dentist's office, and the dentist did this procedure. So the dentist removed the braces from the person's mouth, ok? Mas a pessoa diz como se ela tivesse executado a ação, né? Eu tirei o aparelho dentário. Então, in these cases here, when the service is done by somebody else, you have to use this structure called have something done. So, como é que eu digo eu tirei o aparelho? You have to think like this, eu tive o aparelho tirado. É assim que eles vão falar em inglês, eu tive o aparelho tirado. Então fica, I had the braces, ou o aparelho. Aí vem a palavra que representa o verbo. Tá vendo? Eu tô seguindo a sequência, I first used the verb have in the correct verb tense, and then I used the object. O que foi tirado? O aparelho, tá? Now I have to use the verb that expresses the action I am talking about, but I have to use the verb in the correct form. I have to use it in the past participle, okay? So here I have to use the verb take off in the correct form. E se você for até a lista de verbos irregulares, você descobre que take fica taken, okay? In the past participle. So you have to say, I had the braces taken off last week. Então, quando a pessoa diz em inglês, I had the braces taken off, significa que ela foi ao dentista e ele executou a ação. He or she, the dentist, did the action, ok? Então, vejam que em inglês eles são muito mais específicos que a gente em português, ok? A gente fala generalizando, eu tirei o aparelho, né? Se eu mesmo tirei, eu vou falar da mesma forma. Eu mesmo tirei o aparelho. I did it myself. But in English, we have a special structure for that, okay? Really important, okay, guys? So really, really pay attention to that. Well, I'm gonna give you now 2 sentences, okay? And I want you to translate them for me, okay? I'll write the sentences here. I'll give you some time, okay? And then we correct it together. So, do you know how to say tatuar in English? Tatuar. Do you remember how to say that? Does anyone know how to say tatuar? Or nobody? Tatuar is like tatuagem, okay? The same word. So if you want to say tatuar in English, you use the verb tattoo, okay? Tattoo. It's a regular verb, so if you need, you have to use ed, okay? Well, now pay attention to this sentence. I'm gonna leave it here, okay? I'm gonna write the sentence here. Olha, eu vou tatuar o nome da minha mãe. Vou tatuar o nome da minha mãe. Imagine that I am gonna do this. I'm gonna have this done, but I'm gonna ask the tattoo artist to do this action on my right arm, no meu braço direito. Eu vou tatuar o nome da minha mãe no meu braço direito, ok? Eu vou tatuar o nome da minha mãe no meu braço direito, pay attention. When the person says, eu vou tatuar, in fact, okay, it isn't the person who is going to do the action. As I told you, quem vai fazer vai ser o tatuador. How do I say tatuador in English? In English, they say tattoo artist. Tattoo artist é o tatuador, ok? So the action will be performed by the tattoo artist. Então, se vocês sabem que my mom's name é o nome da minha mãe e que on my right arm é no meu braço direito, como é que fica então a frase? Eu vou tatuar o nome da minha mãe no meu braço direito. How do I say that? Can anybody do this sentence for us? Pessoal, vocês estão aí?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, estamos.
So, can you do it?
Obrigado.
Pode fazer devagarzinho. So,
O
I
pessoal
type
sumiu pra minha tela.
Sumiu as coisas. Sumiu a
a tela?
tela. Isso.
Aí voltou.
Voltou? Eu vou tatuar.
I had.
I have. Tem que usar o have, né? Deixa eu aproveitar.
Isso.
Ok, fecha o microfone um pouquinho. Just, thank you. Eu já peço para você abrir de novo, ok? So, pay attention, guys. Olha, I have to use have, okay? But you have to pay attention to something else, okay? Oh, I'm gonna write it here. Pay attention. The verb have, so the verb have will show you the verb tense, okay? So, okay, perfect. You have to use the verb have, right? You have to use the verb have. But you have to pay attention to something that is really important. What is it, Samuel? What is it you're talking about? Well, you have to pay attention to the fact that the verb have is there to show you the verb tense. Pay attention. I'm going to highlight here this part. The verb tense. É o verbo have que vai mostrar para vocês o tempo verbal da frase. So, we can have, for example, a sentence in the present. We can have a sentence in the past. We can have a sentence in the future, okay? And you have to pay attention because the verb have will change, okay? If we have a sentence in the present, you can have or has, okay? But if the sentence is in the past, you will have had. And if the sentence is in the future, you can have, for example, will have or is gonna have, okay? So as you can see, você não pode simplesmente inserir o have. You have to use have. This is the first step, but you have to pay attention to the verb tense, ok? Vejam no meu exemplo, ó, eu cortei o cabelo, ficou assim, I had my haircut. Why did I use have, had? Because the verb is in the past. Now, pode abrir seu microfone de novo.
Para de botar essa coisa na mão dela.
You understand? Ó, eu vou tatuar. The action is in the future.
Yes.
Qual tudo? Will have, ok?
Uhum.
Pode começar. I will have.
O que deu pra ela?
Olha só, eu usei o have, não foi? O que eu faço agora? Eu passo para o passo número 2, olha. Qual é o passo número 2? O objeto. O que vai ser tatuado no meu braço?
Name.
Isso aqui, né? O nome da mãe. My mom's name, right?
Yes.
So, ó, tô seguindo o segundo passo, tá? Ó. My mom's name, right? My mom's name. E agora, o que eu faço? Posso escrever no meu braço?
No.
No. I need now the verb, right?
Yes.
Need verb. What's the verb?
Tattoo.
Tattoo, right. So the verb is tattoo. Posso escrever assim, does tattoo? No. Remember, I have to use the past participle. When it is a regular verb, o que eu faço com o verbo? Acrescento ed, right? Oh, ed. So I have to write here. I will have my mom's name tattooed, ok?
Uhum.
Pode desligar o microfone agora. Thank you, ok? Thank you very much. Eu pedi para você desligar porque tinha uns barulhos aí no fundo, ok? Sorry. So, I will have my mom's name tattooed. Eu vou tatuar o nome da minha mãe. Vejam, pessoal, eu usei a fórmula na exata sequência em que ela aparece. Não posso inserir nada no meio, tudo bem? Now I complete the sentence. Now I finish it. I give you the other information. The other information I have here is no meu braço direito. So now I say on my, olha, on my right arm. So the sentence is, I will have my mom's name tattooed on my right arm. Okay, guys? So moving on, let me give you another example here. But so this was an example with a verb that is regular, okay? Now I'm gonna give you another example, but with a verb which is irregular. So pay attention. I'm gonna give you the sentence again in Portuguese, and my objective is to teach you how to translate it into English, okay? So pay attention. Imagine a girl saying something like this. Eu sempre faço as unhas no salão. Sempre faço as unhas no salão da Bia, for example. Ok, ó, eu sempre faço as unhas no salão da Bia. Ponto. Well, how do I say fazer as unhas? In English, we can say do the nails. Nails, ok? Do the nails. Well, so do fazer, ok? Eu sempre faço is present. So the verb fazer here is in the present. So I have to use have or has, okay? Because I am talking about something in the present. As the subject is I have to use I have, okay? So I always have, ok? Tá vendo, ó? Eu já mostrei os três para vocês, ó. Eu usei o will have, usei o had no outro exemplo, e agora estou mostrando no presente, ó. I always have. Agora eu começo a usar a fórmula. I have just started, so I used step number 1. Now I have to move on to step number 2. O que eu faço lá no salão da Bia? Eu faço as unhas. So, as unhas é o meu objeto, ok? So, I always have my nails. Agora vem o quê? Ó? Passando para o passo número 3. I have to use the verb. The verb is fazer. In English, I say do, ok? Mas eu não posso pôr do aqui assim, ok? I have to use the verb in the past participle. And Samuel, what's the past participle of do? Well, if you don't know by heart, you have to go to the list of irregular verbs, okay? And you have to check it there. So I'm gonna show you how you do it. Pay attention here to the list. So if you don't know, you have to go there to the list, okay? Check out here the list. I have, tá vendo? 3 columns, tem 3 colunas. The first one is the infinitive, and then you have the past form of the verb, and then you have, pay attention here in green, you have past participle. So the past participle of an irregular verb is here in the 3rd column. Okay, we need the past participle of the verb do. I think you all know it, but I am just showing you, okay, how to do it, how to find it. Tá na 3ª coluna, then you just check out. Ó, aqui tá o verbo do, so you just count 1, 2, 3. The form you need is this one here, done, okay? Tá vendo de onde eu estou tirando? Ó, da 3ª coluna. Well, going back here, we have, eu sempre faço as unhas no salão da Bia, fica, I always have my nails done. Tá bom? Ó, done. Aí agora eu escrevo no salão da Bia. At Bia's hair salon. Ok? Eu não sei se vocês perceberam, but the vocabulary that we studied in our other classes will be here now again, okay? Because we can also use this structure to talk about these kinds of things, these procedures that people have done at the hair salon, okay? So As you can see here, ó, os passos são inclusão do have, then the object, then the verb in the past participle. Eu vou diminuir a tela, pay attention, não aumentar, just to show you something. So as you can see, ó, here, I have an example of a verb which is irregular. So here you have the list, right? But if we have a regular verb just like this one here, tattoo, as you can see, we just add ed. Por que, Samuel, we have to use ed? Because, you know, they are regular. So as you just can see by the name, like regular, regular significa segue uma regra, it follows a rule. And what is the rule? The rule is this, very simple. The regular verbs, they take the ed ending both in the simple past and in the past participle. So, for example, pintar, olha, pintar fica painted and painted, you know, can you see? The simple past and the past participle are the same. This is the reason why I told you that if we are talking about a regular verb, you just add ed to the verb, okay? Well, guys, I hope you could understand, okay? This is just the introduction. Now, let's go deeper, okay? Let's study other things involving this topic here. But before we do this, I'd like to do an exercise with you. So just a moment. Check out this exercise. Sorry, not this. Just a moment. PDF. I need to find a PDF file here. Just a moment. Where is it? This one, guys. Pay attention to this. Not this one, this one. Check out this exercise here. Eu preparei esse exercício para o ensino médio, okay? I know that, you know, you are advanced students or intermediate students. You would like to listen to me speaking in English all the time, but this is just the beginning, okay? This is just introduction, so I need you to understand the structure, okay? And this is the reason why we are going to do an exercise that involves translation. And I have here everything in Portuguese, and I want you to teach you how to translate it into English so that you can better internalize the structure, okay? So check out. I have here a text about a girl called Lana, okay? And I have here this. So, Lana, além de não ser nenhum padrão de beleza, sempre foi considerada a mais desleixada da turma. So, can you see? Lana was not like a beautiful girl, okay? And she didn't worry about her looks at all, okay? She was like, we say in Portuguese, desleixada about her looks. Nunca se preocupou com questões de beleza, até, pay attention, apaixonar-se por Mark, metrosexual assumido. So she fell in love with a boy called Mark, and this man here is a man who is really worried about his looks. And then this changed the girl's mind, ok? Ela resolveu então, tentar chamar a atenção do rapaz, passar por uma transformação total. She decided to have a makeover, ok? Transformação total no visual é chamado de, em inglês, de makeover. So she decided, olha, in English we say to have a makeover, fazer uma transformação total no visual, ok? Para isso, she started working out. She had a liposuction done. Fazer lipoaspiração é have a liposuction. Tudo bem? Liposuction é sucção de gordura, é como se fala lipoaspiração. Have a liposuction done. Porque como não é a própria pessoa que se auto-anestesia e faz a cirurgia, a gente usa a estrutura, have a liposuction done. Ter uma lipoaspiração feita. So she had a liposuction done where? In her thighs and waist. E também fez o seguinte, ela decidiu aumentar o tamanho do bumbum. So she, olha só, she had her, I'm gonna use here the word butt, okay? She had her butt enlarged. Enlarged, just a moment. She had her butt enlarged. com a ajuda de um procedimento cirúrgico. Obstinada a conquistar o rapaz, Lana estava disposta, pay attention now, a fazer muitas outras transformações, and they are here. Nas frases abaixo estão listadas, so as you can see here, you have a list of all the things that the girl still wants to have done, okay? Translate them into English using the causative have. Well, so this is just to practice, okay? I have here the vocabulary, and you have to organize the sentence in English. So these are some of the things the girl wants to do. So ela tá falando assim, ó, eu vou fazer isso, eu vou fazer aquilo outro, ó, eu vou levantar os seios, eu vou aumentar os seios com implante de silicone, eu vou mudar o formato do nariz, eu vou injetar gordura nas bochechas. So as you can see, quando ela diz eu vou injetar, na verdade não é ela própria que vai fazer isso, ok? She will have this done, okay? So a plastic surgeon, probably, okay? A plastic surgeon will do this action, will perform this action for her, okay? These are services that she's going to have done, okay? So let's start translation. I have there, the first one is, eu vou alisar o cabelo regularmente. Imagine that she's going to go to a hair salon and ask a hairdresser to do this for her, okay? So, eu vou alisar o cabelo regularmente. I'm gonna do the first one. So, eu vou alisar, it is future, so I have to say I will have, ok? E vem o que agora, segundo a estrutura? Só lembrando, ó, segundo a estrutura a gente tem o have, seguido do object, seguido do past participle of the verb, okay? This is the structure. So, just a moment. I think I will change it to yellow. So, this is the first one. I will have, já usei o have, tá vendo? Falta usar o object agora. O que ela vai alisar? Ó? Her hair. So, I will have my hair. Agora vem o verbo, ó, alisar. How do I say alisar, Samuel? It is here, guys. Olha, straighten. I told you this in our other class. So, the verb is straighten. Posso deixar assim, Samuel? No, because remember, you have to use the verb in the past participle. And what is the past participle of straighten? Well, straighten is a regular verb. You have here the ed, so you just add here ed. And then you give the other information, regularly, okay? So, regularly. Very simple, okay? Now, you are gonna do this, okay? So, moving on to number 2. Vou começar com a Nicole. Nicole, can you open your microphone, please? Nicole, are you still there?
Hello.
Hello, hi. Nicole,
Yes.
could you do letter B for us? I'm writing numbers here, right? But they are, in fact, letters. So, could you do, eu vou fazer as unhas com frequência. Fazer as unhas é do the nails. How do you say that, Nicole?
I will have my nails done frequently.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Continua aí, que vai fazer mais, tá? I will have my nails done frequently. Nicole, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is, eu vou depilar as pernas. You have to use the verb walks, okay? Walks. Porque shave não faria sentido, né? Remember?
Me again?
Yes. Again, please.
Okay.
I will have, right?
Will have my legs
My legs.
waxed.
É waxed, com som de O, tá bom? Assim, ó, waxed. Okay?
Waxed.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
Now let me go to another one. Caio Gabriel, can you open your microphone, please? Caio, are you there?
Yeah.
Caio, I want you to do the two next ones, okay? You're gonna do letter D and letter E, okay? So let's start. Letter D is, eu vou levantar o supercílio. Supercílio é sobrancelha, tá? And testa. Ó, supercílio é eyebrow, and testa is forehead, okay? So, letter D, could you please start?
I will have my... How can I say levantar?
Levantar?
Não seria like, tipo, pulled up. É outra palavra, não é?
aqui, ó, é
Desculpa.
lift. Na cirurgia
Lift,
plástica, eles usam lift.
Okay.
Bom?
I will have my eyebrows and my forehead lift.
Yeah, lifted, com ED. Ó,
Lifted.
I will have my
Okay.
eyebrow and forehead. And
Lifted.
then we use lifted. Onde que eu tô escrevendo? Cadê o... Desse momento, acho que pulou aqui. So, Caio, né, seu nome, isso? Caio, eu vou falar uma coisa pra você, mas deixa eu só terminar de escrever aqui, tá? I will have my eyebrow and forehead lifted. Como você disse, ó, em inglês, você pensou em inglês, né? Pull up é puxar para cima, né? Pulled up. Você até pode falar pulled up, ok? But in English, when we are talking about plastic surgery, they have this procedure here called lifting. Não sei se vocês já ouviram falar. Em cirurgia plástica, eles chamam de lifting, tá bom? E lifting, ao pé da letra, quer dizer levantamento, né? But we don't translate it. Mesmo na cirurgia plástica, eles falam assim, vou fazer lifting numa paciente hoje à tarde. Tá bom? Aquela paciente fez lifting. Por que eles falam lifting? Because the name in medicine is kind of strange. The name of the procedure is reticidectomia. This is the name of the procedure in Portuguese. But the doctors usually don't use it. They usually say lifting, tá? E lifting vem da palavra lift, que é o próprio verbo levantar. This is the reason why I think it's most appropriate to use lift. Okay? But it's possible to use pulled up because they will understand what you are talking about, you know? Porque a pele é puxada, né? Literalmente. Well, so now let's go back to letter E, right? Ó, eu vou reduzir o tamanho do meu queixo. Aqui tá o vocabulário, ó. Reduce, reduzir. My chin size, o tamanho do meu queixo. So how do they say that, Caio?
I will have my chin size reduced.
Reduced. Tem que pôr o ED ali no final. So I will have my chin size reduced. Never forget to pronounce the D, okay? Because if you say like this, reduce, sem pronunciar o ED, você não tá pondo o verbo no past participle, ok? So you have to say reduced. Esse D aqui tem som de T. Sempre que o ED tá depois de um som de S, aqui é um C, né? Mas ele tem som de dois S, tá? Aí o ED tem som de T, assim, ó. Reduced. Com som de T, tá bom? Ok, Caio, thank you very much, ok? Deixa eu aproveitar o Caio ainda, pessoal. O Caio disse o seguinte, olha, na fala dele, ele falava assim, ó, ele estava já fazendo a contração do will, ok? So, as you all know, because you are like specific 6, I think I don't need to tell you this, but this contraction is the same as I will, but you have to pay attention to pronunciation, because when you say I will, você tem que pronunciar as duas palavras separately, ok? But when you say I'll, the pronunciation is like this, I'll, né? Como o Caio fez certinho aí, ó. I'll have, tá bom? Ó. I'll have my chin size reduced. Mas como eu tô escrevendo aqui para deixar bem marcado, eu tenho que falar assim, ó. I will have my chin size reduced, tá bom? Mas não tem problema nenhum, tá? Fazer o seguinte, ó. É isso que eu tô dizendo. I'll have my chin size reduced. No problem at all, okay? Moving on, let me just take another student here, just a moment. Igor, can you open your microphone, please?
Eu, teacher. Me.
Okay, Igor, so I'm gonna do the same thing with you, okay? I want you to do the two next ones, so you're gonna do letter F and letter G, okay?
Ok.
Can we start? Ó, letter F. Eu vou mudar o formato do nariz. Mudar o formato, Caio, é isso aqui, ó. Reshape, ok?
Reshape. Ok. I will have my nose reshaped.
Reshaped, né?
Reshaped,
I will have
yes.
my nose reshaped, né? Aqui também, pessoal, depois de P, o ED tem som de T, tá? Então você fala assim, ó, reshaped. Okay? Now, the next one, Caio, please. Letter G diz assim, ó, eu vou injetar gordura nas bochechas. Caio, primeira pergunta. What is the object here, ó? Qual que é o objeto nessa frase aqui? Eu vou injetar gordura. Será que o objeto é bochechas ou o objeto é a gordura?
I think gordura, fat.
Gordura, exactly. So you can start.
I will have fat injected in the cheeks.
In the cheeks, exactly.
In the
So I will
cheeks.
have fat injected. Você pode falar in the cheeks, né, nas bochechas. Ou como as bochechas são da pessoa, né, você pode falar in my cheeks. In my cheeks, okay? But I'm gonna use here just like it is. Thank you, Caio. Thank you very much.
Igor.
Sorry, Igor. sorry, Igor.
Okay.
So sorry, okay? Really, really sorry. Next one, Elione. Elione, can you open your microphone, please? Elione, are you still there?
Professor, eu tô ajudando minha esposa. É porque eu tô com uma neném recém-nascida aqui e tô dando uma forcinha pra minha esposa aqui. Não tem como eu falar, tá bom? Só tô ouvindo a aula aqui agora. Desculpa.
Okay, beleza. You can turn off your microphone, okay? Now you can close your microphone. Let me get another one. So lá. I cannot see all the names here, guys. Alexandra, can you please open your microphone?
Teacher.
Oi. Tudo bem?
Eu
Good
falei, não consigo falar muito.
Tá bem,
Eu fiz
beleza.
a cirurgia.
Ah, tá, verdade. Você que falou comigo sobre a cirurgia, desculpa. So sorry. So sorry. Bom, pessoal, deixa eu pegar outra pessoa de novo aqui. Cynthia, can you open your microphone?
Tá me ouvindo?
Tô ouvindo. I can hear you. Bem de longe, but I can hear you.
Porque eu tô sem microfone, eu tô só no ambiente aberto. Assim.
Não, dá pra ouvir. É só você falar alto, como você tá falando, que dá pra ouvir sim, ok? We can hear you. Vamos fazer pelo menos uma together, ok? Ó, eu vou deixar os lábios mais grossos, tá? Let me help you first. Olha só, como é que eu falo deixar mais grossos? Tá aqui, ó. In English, você não precisa falar deixar mais grossos, ok? You have to use the verb engrossar, que é assim, ó, thicken. Então, Cíntia, você tem que entender a frase assim, ó. Eu vou engrossar os lábios, tá? Eu vou engrossar. Como é que você falaria isso? Eu vou engrossar os lábios. I will have
chicken.
Lábios. Tá aqui, ó. Lips. Tá vendo? Lips. So, I will have my lips. Ok? E agora, como é que eu falo engrossar? Tá aqui, ó. Thicken. Thickened com ED, tá bom? Vocês viram, pessoal? No caso de engrossar, engrossar quer dizer deixar mais grosso, certo? Então, o próprio verbo thicken já tem dentro de si a ideia do mais grosso, tá bom? So, I will have my lips thickened. Eu vou deixar os meus lábios mais grossos. Cíntia, eu vou pedir para você fechar o microfone, porque estava bem baixo realmente para a gente o seu microfone, tá bom? I'm gonna get another student. Eu vou voltar para quem eu já fui, pessoal, porque eu não estou vendo o nome de todo mundo aqui. Ian Sartori. Deixa eu ver, eu não peguei você ainda, né? Ian Sartori, can you open your
Hello,
microphone?
teacher.
Hi, Ian. Good evening. Ian, let's do the other two together, okay? Ó, letter I and letter J, ok? Eu vou aumentar os seios com implante de silicone. Vamos separar a frase aqui, tá? Ó, eu vou aumentar os seios. Aumentar é enlarge, ok? E seios são breasts. How do I say eu vou aumentar os seios?
So, I will have my breasts enlarged with silicone implants.
Perfect. So, I will have my... Just pay attention to the pronunciation of seios. You say breasts, tá bom?
Okay.
I'll have my breasts enlarged, just a moment, with silicone implants. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's go to the other one, okay? Just a moment. The other one is eu vou fazer limpeza nos dentes, ok? So, fazer limpeza is an action done by the dentist, okay? But in English, they don't say fazer limpeza, okay? In English, they say limpar. But they use the structure have something done to give the idea that the action will be performed by the dentist, ok? Então, é como se você fosse falar assim, Ian, ó, eu vou limpar os dentes, tá bom? Eu vou limpar os dentes no dentista. Como é que seria nessa estrutura aqui, eu vou limpar os dentes?
I'll have my teeth cleaned.
Exactly, so I'll have my teeth cleaned. Okay? So as you can see, guys, you have to understand, vocês todos sabem, né? All of you know that clean is the verb limpar. But in this case here, when you use the structure, have something done, with the verb clean, you have to understand it as the idea of the expression fazer limpeza in Portuguese, okay? Because it won't make sense as any sense in Portuguese if we say like, eu vou limpar os dentes. Ninguém fala, eu vou limpar os dentes no dentista. As pessoas falam, eu vou fazer limpeza, ok? Okay, so this was just to practice, okay? Why am I showing you this type of exercise? Because eu não vou acabar a aula ainda não, tá, pessoal? But I'm gonna show you your homework now, tá bom? Só vou mostrar o homework de vocês. So just a moment. Pay attention to this exercise here. This exercise is very similar to the one I just did here with you, okay? So, também é um exercício que eu usei com alunos de ensino médio, perdoem a qualidade da imagem, eu só fiz uma foto da folha que eu tenho aqui em casa, ok? Because my material is there at the school, okay? So, as you can see, again, it's in Portuguese. Os alunos aprendem isso no segundo ano do ensino médio. This is the reason why I have here the number 2, okay? And the situation is like a different one, but the idea is the same. Olha só, you have here take a look, the ramshackle and rundown house. Samuel, what is ramshackle or ramshackle? We use this adjective with the idea of something that is in very bad condition, okay? In Portuguese, we translate it as caindo aos pedaços, okay? So when something is ramshackle, it is caindo aos pedaços. In Portuguese, we can also say falling apart. Quando você diz que algo está falling apart, você diz que algo está se despedaçando, se fragmentando, tá? Ou seja, caindo aos pedaços. And the word rundown, que pode ser grafada com y, com hífen ou não, eu vou escrever assim juntinho, rundown, significa, just a moment, very, very, very old and again in bad condition, tá bom? Significa então, tem a mesma ideia, in bad condition. It means in Portuguese decrépito, tá bom? Decrépito. Decrépito is something that is very old and is in very bad condition too, okay, guys? A gente também fala dilapidado in Portuguese. So I think this is a new vocabulary to you, so just memorize them because these words are kind of advanced words. This is advanced vocabulary, okay? So going back here to the exercise, we have the ramshackle and rundown house. So again, you have a text in Portuguese, okay? You have here Jack, and Jack, o que aconteceu aqui foi o seguinte, ó, Jack, olha só o verbo, inherited a house, okay? So he inherited a house, ele herdou uma casa, but this house has many problems, okay? As the title suggests, the house is in very bad condition. You have here, Jack inherited a house which is in very bad condition. All the house is a mess. Can you see? There are lots of problems with the structure of the house, okay? You have here, for example, os vidros das janelas estão quebrados, a fiação elétrica da casa está old and damaged, as calhas da casa estão todas blocked, there are mice and cockroaches everywhere, and blah, 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 blah. And then you have here, pay attention. Além de tudo isso, a casa está localizada em um bairro perigoso, o que levou Jack a pensar em maneiras de oferecer uma maior proteção para sua nova e futura casa contra roubos. Então, ele vai instalar lá uma cerca elétrica, ok? Na verdade, ele não sabe fazer isso. He doesn't know how to do that. So he will pay professionals to do this for him. So he is gonna hire, ele vai hire, contratar many professionals to do these actions for him, ok? Ele vai contratar pessoas. You have to do this. Abaixo estão listadas algumas das vontades do rapaz no que diz respeito às necessidades da casa. Pay attention. Traduza-as para o português. So, you have to translate everything into English using what? Using the structure that we are studying in this lesson, ok? Então, vejam que a ideia é a mesma of the other exercise lá da garota chamada Lana, tá bom? And you have here, ele fala, eu vou substituir o sistema de encanamento, eu vou consertar o telhado, eu vou repintar as paredes. But you have to translate everything into English. Samuel, how will I do it if I don't have the vocabulary? You do. Take a look at the next page. Tá aqui o vocabulário, olha. Okay? You have 15 sentences to translate, and the vocabulary to help you is here. This is the help box, okay? This is your homework for our next class. I will be correcting this in our next class, okay? So have fun and try to do it if possible, okay? A aula não acabou ainda, okay? I was just explaining what you have to do. Questions about homework? I will be sending this file, this PDF file, on your WhatsApp group, okay? As soon as we finish this class. Well, guys, so moving on. Now, I'm gonna show you a picture, okay? And I want you to tell me the name of this girl, okay? So just pay attention to this picture. I think you all know her. She's a very famous actress, okay? She is an American actress. Take a look. This is her picture. Do you know this girl? What's her name? Can anybody tell me her name? So, this is, what's her name?
Angelina Jolie, né?
Yes, that's it. So, this is Angelina Jolie, okay? So, Angelina Jolie. Teacher, why are you showing us a picture of Angelina Jolie? Because I want to tell you something about her, okay? I don't know if you know this, but Angelina Jolie has family. Eu vou falando e vou escrevendo aqui, tá? She has family history of cancer. Okay, so she had a family member who died of cancer. It was her mom. Her mom died. Just a moment. So her mom died of ovary cancer. Okay, her mom had ovary cancer and she died. And many other people died in her family, okay, with cancer. And then she went to a doctor, and the doctor told her that she had a mutation. She had a mutation in a gene, and this mutation a predispunha ao desenvolvimento de câncer, okay? And then, pay attention, the doctor told her that she had a very high probability of developing cancer, okay? Developing cancer. For this reason, okay, she was told that in her case, it would be good to have surgery to remove her breasts, okay? So she made this drastic decision. Just a moment. It was a very drastic decision that she had to make. And what was the decision you were talking about, Samuel? The decision is this. She had a preventive mastectomy. Mastectomy is the name of the surgery in which the doctors remove the breasts, okay? Então, ela fez mastectomia preventiva. So, ela removeu os 2 seios. É aqui que eu queria chegar, ó. Ela removeu. Quando eu falo seios, eu me refiro às glândulas mamárias, tá bom? Ó, ela removeu os 2 seios. Quando a gente fala assim, ela removeu os 2 seios, as you can see, the action of removing was not performed by her, okay? The doctors did the action, okay? So, ela removeu os 2 seios. How do I say that in English? Olha, sabendo que remover por exemplo, o próprio verbo remove, and that remove is a regular verb, how do I say that Angelina Jolie removeu os 2 seios? Do you remember how to say seios? Seios in English is breasts, okay? E os 2 seios, I can say both breasts. Mas, professor, 2 não é 2? Yes, but, you know, both significa ambos. And when I say ambos, I am talking about the 2 breasts that she has, okay? So when I say both breasts, I'm talking about os 2 seios. So now that you have vocabulary, how can I say ela removeu os 2 seios? Olha só, bem simples, né? Vocês já sabem que a gente tem que usar o have something done, né? The causative use of have. Ficaria então assim, ó. She had, porque a ação está no passado, né? The action happened in the past, so she had both breasts removed. She had both breasts removed. Tá vendo, ó? Em inglês eles falam, ela teve os 2 seios removidos. Mas em português a gente fala, ela teve os 2 seios removidos. A gente fala que ela retirou as 2 mamas. Ela removeu os 2 seios. But in English, you have to remember that you have a special structure to say that. Okay, so pay special attention to that. Okay, você não pode fazer do jeito que você bem entender. Existe uma estrutura pré-estabelecida que organiza a frase. Okay, and you have to have this structure, this sequence, in which you have to position the words. You have to have this in mind, okay? And why am I telling you this? Because I want to show you this report here. Just a moment. Olha só. I'm going to show you a real text, okay, that I got from a very famous newspaper called The Telegraph. Eu tirei essa reportagem aqui de um jornal britânico chamado The Telegraph, okay? The Telegraph is a British newspaper, okay? It's called the Daily Telegraph, but people call it the Telegraph. And the Telegraph, naquele ano em que Angelina Jolie had both her breasts removed, publicou essa notícia aqui, ó. The number of, just a moment, the number of women having both breasts removed because of Angelina Jolie effect is alarmingly high. Pay attention here to the structure I am teaching you. Tá vendo aqui, ó? Having, vou fazendo de cores diferentes, tá? Ó. Both. So step number 1, step number 2, and now step number 3, removed. Tá vendo, ó? Having both breasts removed. O número de mulheres que estão retirando os seios because of Angelina Jolie effect, por causa do efeito Angelina Jolie, is alarmingly high. So, as I told you, in the case of Angelina Jolie, até fazia sentido a remoção, because, you know, as I told you here, olha só, she had a mutation in a gene, okay? And for this reason, many other women decided to have the same procedure done. But for some cases, it was needless. Era desnecessário, ó, needless. Então, many other women, when they saw the case involving Angelina Jolie, they thought, well, I am going to have my breasts removed too because I don't want to have cancer. But, you know, in the case of Angelina Jolie, in Angelina Jolie's case, she had an 87% chance, okay, an 87% chance of getting cancer. Era uma high probability, como os médicos disseram, okay? So in her case, it was like the certain decision, okay? But for many other women, it was needless. Elas estavam desnecessariamente se submetendo a cirurgias to have their breasts removed, okay? And this is what this text is saying. Olha, vou ler de novo. Ó. Number of women having both breasts removed because of Angelina Jolie effect. Olha só como que o jornal se referiu ao caso. Angelina Jolie effect. O efeito Angelina Jolie. É como se ela tivesse provocado esse monte de outras cirurgias, ok? And then you have here, just to finish, the word alarmingly high, because most of them were needless, desnecessárias. Okay, most of these other procedures. I just wanted to bring you this information here so that you can remember of a real case in which we can use this structure, okay? Just to give you as one example, okay, guys? And this is it for today's lesson, okay? I'm gonna interrupt our recording now. And do you have